All right, let's get right into it. We're going to tackle a choice that I'm guessing a lot of us face pretty often. You've got this ancient wisdom, right? The stuff that's been passed down for generations, natural, whole foods that are just packed with amazing properties. And then, on the other side, you have the promise of modern science. That precision and convenience, all wrapped up in a little pill or powder.
So, what's it going to be? Do you put your trust in those ancient remedies you can find right in your own kitchen? Or do you reach for that shiny bottle in the supplement aisle? This isn't just a simple question, It really gets to the heart of how we think about our health in today's world.
Let me start with a story that might hit close to home for some of you. It's about Neha, who is a regular at the gym. She started taking protein powder thinking it would boost her results, but pretty soon she started dealing with bad digestion, even some mild allergies. So, totally frustrated, she switched things up. She went back to basics, traditional things like turmeric milk and ashwagandha tea. And guess what? Her energy shot up, she started sleeping way better, and all that inflammation went down. Neha's story, it just perfectly sums up the whole dilemma we're diving into today.
Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to dig into the ancient wisdom behind Indian superfoods. Then, we'll flip the coin and look at what modern science brings to the table with supplements. After that, we'll put them head to head, see how they stack up, and finally, we'll talk about how you can actually make the right choice for yourself.
All right, let's start with that ancient wisdom. We're talking about superfoods that aren't just some new trend you see online. Nope. These are the real deal, time-tested pillars of health that have been used in kitchens for centuries. Let's kick things off with one you definitely know, turmeric. The magic ingredient in it is curcumin, and it is an absolute powerhouse. Scientific studies have shown it's got these potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. That's why it's so good for managing everything from joint pain and skin issues to even lowering the risk of chronic diseases. It just kind of works on your whole system, calming things down from the inside out.
And next up, we've got Amla, also known as the Indian gooseberry. Don't let its size fool you. This little fruit is a total giant when it comes to nutrition. It is loaded with vitamin C and a bunch of other antioxidants, and its benefits are huge, from giving your immune system a serious kick to helping keep your cholesterol and blood sugar in check. It's fantastic for your overall metabolic health.
And then there's ashwagandha. Now this one's really cool. It's what's called an adaptogen. Basically, that means it helps your body handle stress better. And this isn't just talk. Clinical trials show it can seriously lower your levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. That leads to better sleep, less anxiety, and even sharper brain function. It's kind of like nature's answer to our crazy, burnt-out modern lives.
And hey, let's not forget the basics, right? We're talking about traditional grains like bajra or pearl millet. These are a whole different world from those refined carbs. They give you that slow, steady release of energy without the crash later. They're great for your gut health, and people have traditionally used them to help their bodies adjust to the changing seasons. They're like the quiet, steady workers of a healthy diet.
Okay, now let's switch gears. We're moving from the kitchen to the lab. Modern supplements, they have a totally different philosophy. It's all about precision in a pill. The whole approach is built on convenience and hitting very specific nutritional targets with really concentrated formulas.
So when we talk about supplements, we're talking about a huge range of stuff. You've got your vitamin and mineral pills like B12 or D, protein powders, special herbal extracts, even synthetic antioxidants. Each one is designed to deliver a specific punch, whether that's filling a gap in your diet, like getting enough vitamin D when you don't see the sun, or boosting your athletic performance with a quick hit of protein. It's all about isolating one thing for one specific effect.
And look, this approach has some really clear pros and cons. On the bright side, supplements give you a concentrated, standardized dose, they're super convenient and can act fast. But the downsides are pretty big too. There's a real risk of taking too much, you've got to watch out for side effects, and that point about purity, that's a huge one. This industry isn't regulated like medicine is, so what's on the label isn't always what's in the bottle. And yeah, they can get pretty pricey.
Okay, so we've looked at both sides of the coin. Now, let's do the fun part. Let's put them side by side and see how they really truly stack up against each other. We're going to break this down using 4 really important factors: how well they work, or efficacy, how safe they are, how well our bodies can actually absorb them, and of course, the cost. This should give us a really clear picture of the trade-offs here.
So here's where it all really comes together. You see, superfoods work slow and steady on your whole system. Think of it like building a strong foundation for your body over time. Supplements, they're the complete opposite. They're like specialists you call in for a very specific problem, a fast, targeted fix. But with that precision comes risk. With whole foods, you're generally safe.
With supplements, you have to worry about the dose, the purity, all that stuff. And then there's absorption, or bioavailability, which is a great reminder that it's not just what you eat, it's what your body can actually use. A superfood like turmeric needs a little help from some black pepper or fat to really work. Supplements can be designed to be absorbed easily, but that tech costs money. Which brings us to the last point. One is usually pretty cheap and easy to find, while the other can be a real hit to your wallet.
Okay, so with all of that laid out, how in the world do we actually make a choice? How do we find a path to wellness that actually works for us?
Let me tell you one more quick story. There's this supplement seller in Kanpur, and he started noticing a pattern. A lot of his customers were popping vitamin pills every day, but their diets were, well, they were terrible. Not enough fruits, veggies, or traditional foods. So he started telling them, hey, try adding some turmeric milk or omelet to your routine, along with your pills. And you know what happened? Their overall health, their sleep, digestion, energy, it all got way better. And that just perfectly shows you a key truth. You can't supplement your way out of a bad diet. It just doesn't work.
So here's the game plan, and it's actually pretty straightforward. Step 1. Always start with a food-first approach. Build your health on a solid foundation of a balanced diet full of whole foods and natural superfoods. That's your long-term strategy. Then, step 2. Use supplements strategically. Think of them as tools for very specific, confirmed needs, like if a doctor tells you you're low on vitamin D or B12. They're not a replacement for good food.
And a final, really important point here. This is not a journey you should take alone. Before you start any new routine, please make this your checklist. First, talk to a doctor or a nutritionist. Second, get some lab work done to make sure you actually have a deficiency. Third, do your homework and check the quality and purity of any brand you're thinking of buying. And finally, always check to see if it could interact with any medications you're taking. Seriously, this is all about being smart and safe.
So, when you get right down to it, this isn't about choosing one over the other. It's not a versus match. The smartest, most effective path to wellness is a balanced fusion. You start with that strong foundation of natural, nutrient-rich foods, and then, only when you really need to, you enhance it with high-quality, verified supplements to fill in any specific gaps. It's really about getting the best of both worlds, timeless wisdom and modern science working together.
And that brings me to you. What's your story been like? Have you found more success by going back to traditional foods like Neha did? Or maybe a targeted supplement was a total game changer for a specific health problem you had? We would absolutely love to hear about your experience, so drop a comment below and share your story. Thanks for tuning in for this explainer.